Hey folks, Kerry from Right Choice Realty here on Parkbench Wainwright, and today we're at the Huxley Hockey Conditioning Facility in Wainwright. I'm going to chat with a few of the prospects here and see exactly what the advantage is to having this facility right local in our hometown. Let's have a look.
Connor McLennan walks in on the 2-on-1, puts it off the bar.
Connor McLennan, Winnipeg Ice.
Tell us a little bit about the road it's taken to get to the Kootenay Ice now. Winnipeg. What steps have you taken there?
Yeah, it's been a pretty long journey actually, going to Kelowna for my first couple years in Bantam, and then getting drafted to the Western League, moving back a little bit closer to play in Edmonton for my midget season, and then ending up in Cranbrook for a little bit of a tough road my rookie year, and then moving to Winnipeg. It's been a long road, but it's been fun so far.
And how was that trip out to Winnipeg? A good change?
Yeah, I think it was a good change for everyone. Obviously, my 16-year-old year, we didn't have the greatest year, so I think the fresh start in Winnipeg was really nice.
Okay, now we're at the facility here. You got lots of guys, lots of elite players here that are moving up into the pros and that kind of stuff. What is that like for you?
I think just kind of watching the past, some of the guys have taken, like seeing Shawzy going through the Western League and being around him and seeing how he handles himself. I think he's a good role model for me, being a smaller guy as well. So I think just having guys like that to motivate you even when you maybe don't want to hop on the bike like you were saying. But I think it's just it's a little bit of a competition, I guess, when you're in here. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. Having this facility in Wainwright as opposed to no facility in other, how important is that?
Yeah, it's huge. Not having to drive an hour to go to Lloyd or a couple hours to go to Edmonton to get ice. I think Adam does a really good job with the group he has here, and I think over the years it's just kind of grown and grown, so it's been a lot of fun to kind of see it progress.
Cool. Adam can be a little intense, eh?
Oh yeah, just a little bit.
But that's cool. He amps it up and away we go. So that's fantastic. So good luck this year. Moving out to Winnipeg. Do we know when that's going to happen? Any idea?
We've kind of been told hopefully for an October 2nd start, so move out middle of September would hopefully be the goal. So things are definitely going to start picking up around here if that's the case.
Great. So in the meantime, stay in shape, be competitive with the other guys here, and maybe improve your golf game.
Yeah, hopefully. That's kind of been my main goal actually.
Awesome. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks, Christopher Zell.
Bobby McMahon, playing for the Toronto Marlies next year.
Bonneville Pontiacs, NCAA Colgate Raiders, captain, 4 years there, now off to the Toronto Marlies. And reading some of the stuff with Joe Quinn and the PEP program, 6 years doing that camp, and Joe speaks very highly of you. Like he puts you in the elite prospects with Connor McDavid, Jack Hughes, and so on. But what does that feel? Is that kind of surreal to you, or is it? Yeah, for sure, I'm there.
Yeah. It's I'd say it's a surreal feeling. Those guys are elite skill, elite players, and they're playing in the National Hockey League. So I would definitely say that's a very nice compliment that he's given me, and I've been able to be introduced to those players and those types of people like Joe Quinn through Adam Huxley here.
Yep, awesome. And this facility, Huxley Hockey Conditioning, how important is this to you? Like you come home for the summer perhaps, knowing that you're going to step up your game here with the Marlies in the fall. How important is this facility to you?
Yeah, it's an excellent setup. He's put in work every summer to get better. He's added equipment. He's added more ice time. We've got ice time in Irma last year and this year in Viking. So he's put in so much work, and it's paying off through the success that every player that's working out here has had during the season.
Right, and you really see that with all the players here. There's some fantastic elite players here, so obviously it probably creates a bit of camaraderie as well here as well, so a little bit of competition and that kind of stuff, which is great for everybody. Yeah,
that's the thing, is it makes it so much easier to come in. We're all great friends here, and it makes it so much easier to come to the gym every day, because sometimes in the summer it can get to be a grind, and you don't want to come to the gym every day. You don't want to get on the bike. You don't want to do that cardio, but having those guys there with you, it makes it so much better.
Pull each other along too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Bobby, for doing this, and best of luck this year in Toronto.
Yeah, thank you very
fun.
much. Appreciate it.
By Shaw, left circle, he has Rowley, dance down low, Shaw scores!
Hey guys, Mason Shaw with the Iowa Wild here.
Hey Mason, thanks for doing this, by the way. Tell me a little bit about working here at Huxley Hockey Conditioning and what kind of advantage it is coming home to be able to come to this facility?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, for me personally, I really enjoy being able to come home in the summer. A lot of my family and friends are around here, so it's a nice getaway to be able to come home during the hockey season. And Adam provides us with a gym and some opportunities to stay in shape and get ready for the upcoming season.
Great. Now you are you're playing with the Iowa Wild. Could be called up to play with Minnesota Wild. How is that for a local small town kid?
Yeah.
It's got to be hugely exciting.
Yeah, it's obviously a dream of most people, most hockey players, is to make the NHL. A lot of times it doesn't get to become a reality, but for me personally, being drafted in 2017 and signing in 2018, those were big steps to that, and a couple seasons in Iowa have shown me what I need to do to get to the highest level. Hopefully that call will come sooner than later, and hopefully we can get the season rolling again here soon too.
Well, we're expecting that. We've seen your work ethic, and you know, everything I'm reading is you are top notch in work ethic, and you've fought through a few injuries. You're still working on that, building that up. The Wild really look after you, I hear, right? Mm-hmm. Which is fantastic, and we wish you all the best, Mason, in the upcoming season. Hopefully we'll get through COVID and we'll get back at her, and best of luck.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for coming, and appreciate it, Kevin.
Hey folks, Kerry here now with the owner and operator Adam Huxley of HHC, Huxley Hockey Conditioning. You've seen a couple of the guys that take part, so welcome Adam, and thanks for doing this. Tell me a little bit about what brought you into this fitness and all that kind of stuff from a young age to now. How did this happen?
Well, thanks for having me on the show. Actually, I watch all your segments, and I really enjoyed Carson's last time, so I'm glad you did this, and you know, it's great that you're doing this because it also, you know, pumps up some of our athletes and stuff like that as well.
For sure.
But how I got into this is when I was growing up, you know, kids played ball or they played soccer. They played, you know, my friends would call me and we'd all go meet and play street hockey. We'd go and play 500 in the park with the baseball or football or whatever. Yep. And there's just none of that anymore. Everyone, you know, this is the iPad age, the iPhone age, whatever you want to call it, the gaming age. And there's just none of that anymore. So a lot of kids don't have any other outlet for athleticism unless they're at school with fellows like yourself. So, you know, it's a great option for kids to do that. But then obviously on the elite side of things, when I was growing up, the only way you could train at a high level and skate at a high level and all that kind of stuff was moving to the city. Well, that costs money and time, and I mean, you know, you want your summers, you want to be with your friends at home or with your family or working or whatever back home. You don't want to be sitting in the city all summer long doing that unless you're from there. So we had to move there. So there was really nothing like this when I was playing junior. So our goal here, and while I was playing still, we were kind of open. But then once I was done, we went full scale. Obviously got a much bigger building, and you know, I mean, there isn't a training center like this anywhere else in a small town for sure. In the city, you'll find some, but even in there, the space we have here is amazing.
Very cool. And I know, you know, I was here this morning with the older athletes, a lot of elite ones there. These the athletes out here now might be a little bit younger, but I can tell just by watching that they are the work ethic here that you obviously must instill there as well. I mean, you can come here and do nothing. You could be on your phone, but none of these guys are doing that obviously because this is important to them, I can tell. So,
well, some of them would like to be on their phone, but that's rule number one in our gym, and I actually lost it on some kids the other day about that.
Yeah.
But that being said, a lot of kids don't even bring their phone in the building. They come here strictly for work. You know, working out right now, you got a kid like Easton Mannix, who's a local kid. You know, maybe a couple of years ago, he didn't really know what he wanted to do or whatever, but you can tell that kid's pretty dedicated.
He's got a great work ethic. I know.
Extremely dedicated to making the Brandon Wheat Kings or whatever it is. He wants to advance in hockey, and obviously he puts the same into schooling. So that's a prime example of a kid that when he's here to work. Right.
And you had mentioned, you know, coming back to the local town. I know talking to these guys previous in this video that, you know, Bobby's he's in Toronto and Mason's in Iowa and Connor's gonna go to Winnipeg and who knows where they're going, but to come back to a small town and have your facility, have this facility here and have that ability to just come in here and work their butts off with that competitiveness against other elite athletes, kids their own age. I mean, Connor had mentioned Mason being a role model for him, and that sets the bar for him. What an opportunity for those guys.
It's amazing. Like I said, when I was growing up, there was me and Brent McMahon and whatever, and there was no structure or anything like that, and my dad kind of sought it out and saw that in the city these kids are training and stuff. So could not have done the training part without my parents. Like, it's a financial thing and stuff like that. You got to invest in your kid for sure, 100%. But now I can't do the training part or train these kids without my wife and kids and their support. But as far as that goes, that's kind of actually the first couple of years I had this built. Never did I dream that we would have. At one point, we had 20 some college pro guys in this gym, college pro junior guys, and never would I have dreamed that would happen. But that's why we switched the name about 2 years ago. We called it Team HHC, because technically, yes, I run the business, and yes, I've kind of guided a lot of these guys, but at the end of the day, they've set the bar, they put the work in, it's all about them,
right?
And they've paved the way for all the younger kids, because this is the only way this is here is through their success and everything else. Guys like Carson Soucy, he just left to go play for the Wild. We're gonna have, in the next couple of years, we could have up to 3 or 4 NHL picks. We've had a second overall pick in the Western League, maybe a first one coming up here, another kid that trains here. It's amazing for a small town to have something like this. We have to cross our fingers. We have to leave town to skate. Hopefully one day we can even get them on board to let us have the ice here. But we go to Viking. Last couple of years we went to Irma. This year we're going to Viking. So we do have to travel for that, but these kids put one heck of a commitment in to do
Absolutely,
that,
they must. And they talk about the competitiveness with each other and stuff out there. And, all those guys, like you mentioned, Carson, Mason, Bobby, they're all coming from great programs that have great facilities and great different ways for fitness that they have, and they would bring that to here as well.
Yeah, you know what, some of the older guys, they'll come back and they'll even critique some things we're doing and make it better. Like in hockey, if you're not constantly changing the way you train, the way you're on the ice, the way you think, everything, if you don't evolve on a daily basis, pretty much you're a dinosaur and you'll get left behind. So we're always trying to adapt the program. I'm always asking these guys what they want to change.
What's new and better?
I'm always seeking out other guys that I know are successful trainers or on the ice, off the ice. And we're bringing it. Like I'm a level 4 PEP instructor, so I work with, I've been on the ice with, don't train them on a daily basis, but I'm on the ice with Connor McDavid. I've been on the ice with John Tavares. I've been on the ice with a lot of guys through PEP and ran the sessions. I'm a level, like I said, there's only 4 of us. So I'm near the top there. So I have the ability and the backing from those guys to come back and give these guys that knowledge. And when we take these guys to camps, I remember taking Bobby to Toronto and he just, because a guy got hurt, he got in and he went out there and Connor was in the line and he's like, who is that kid? Like, so you look at stuff like that and it's pretty amazing that's a kid from Wainwright, right? And I could have had 20 of the guys out there that do PEP with us and they would have did the same thing. Just the way we train. It's kind of by a committee thing. Like these guys are here for themselves. But yes, it's unbelievable to see like the level of intensity and stuff they push each other to. And you know what? They all hang out, most of them hang out off the ice. When I was growing up, we didn't have any of that. Like I hung out with friends and God bless their souls, they were not on the same path I was or same thing. So these guys, when they go out, they all play golf together. They all play whatever. So, it's absolutely amazing that they have a place to come home from, considering per capita the size of this thing. It's got to be an absolute, gold mine as far as talent goes, because you look at how big Wainwright, Irma, Provost, it's an honor. We do have a lot of guys that like to come in from Lloyd and stuff like that. They'll come train a couple days. It's just really hard for them to drive, but they come skate with us all the time. So we do have guys, we've had guys come down from Carson and Parker's team from Duluth to come train in the gym. So that are in the NHL now. So it's pretty cool. Like Neil Pionk and some guys are, they came down for whatever Irma days or whatever, but they guys like that, they come to this gym and they're all even in awe.
That's cool.
What they got here. So
well, small towns just don't have this.
Yes, no.
So awesome for you, and fantastic for these young guys and the elite athletes as well to have this facility to come to come to. So good on you for doing this.
I do have clients that they know they're not playing the NHL. They know they might not even play elite hockey, but they're here to get athleticism. So later on in life, they're not. Just like
Coach
I was telling you, I used to be a kid, probably very hard to coach and teach, if you ask my dad and actually Carrie here. So, but you know, I dropped the 5K runs for about 6, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, maybe even 14 years. I don't know.
We used to do a lot of running for that.
Yes. So Carrie does the 5K in the gym, and actually the guys in the gym here, when I told them they're coming for that he was coming to do that, they're like, he's not going to make us run a 5K, is he? But they all said, yeah, like that was, just like I appreciate that so much more, and I appreciate the people who tried to get through to me so much more. So so when I have some kids that are harder to deal with, I do always think back to how I was, and I realize that you can change and you can whatever, but you know what, I'll never, now I run 20K a week. I do 4 or 5Ks a week.
Good for
and
you.
I would not have ever done that if it wasn't for someone like you. So I like to think like what we're doing here, and by say we're, I don't mean me. There's lots of people that put into this, that I think that those kids later on, maybe they'll pass on that message to their kids, or they'll have it in university, whatever, and keep their health going, etc., etc. And if you've done that, you've accomplished just as much as playing elite hockey.
I agree, and you mentioned the parents, and you mentioned how Stacy and how important that is to you. And I know you look at the kids out here, and even the little interviews I did. All great parents, all supportive parents with the Shaws and the McMahons and the McLennans, and it goes on, and how important that is. They can't do this on their own. So
no, and this gym would not be possible without a lot of people. But one guy that this would not have happened without is Mike Susi. And so you can actually relate that into the athleticism in Irma. Like, I think he should be the mayor over there. But anything athletic, that guy has something to do with it. And you can thank some of the best athletes. I mean, look at Carson, Parker.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even talked about Parker Mackay. He's a 2-time national champion with a.
He
wore the
Frozen
C for
Four
one
champ.
of them. Won the MVP. So you got some pretty high level guys coming in here, but like. Mike is a massive part for this, and I could not have this operation without Mike. So he gets a lunch break, and he comes over here and helps us lift, whatever, or do whatever. The guy is still a freak physically. So.
Well, and he's got his own little operation in Irma too. I shouldn't call it little, but I know it's
we
an active place.
So we own all this equipment obviously together, but he runs that. He puts that stuff back in the winter, and then we put the rest in so you can. So it is quite an operation. People don't understand how much goes into setting this up and taking it down. But once it's up, it's good for a couple months anyway. So.
Okay, so someone wants to get involved in this and take part in it. You see it, man, I want to take part. What do they do, Adam?
Well, they can contact me. This year's a little sticky, but you can still sign up. But you just have to get a hold of me. You can go on my Instagram or Facebook, find my number, or even DM me like that.
Do you have like an old guys?
Actually, in the future, we will have, we call it Fat Dad's Club with PHAT.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
I may check you out for that one. But.
Well, no, you'd be just fine because I've ran with you before. So,
well, Adam, congrats for such a great facility and offering what you can to the, all levels of athletes here in hockey specific, but Team HHC. You run a great thing here, and congrats on that. And look up Adam if you'd like to join in on this. And I'm going to stop in again because it's cool to be
well,
here.
that or just look in because we always have things about guys in our program, and you can read any article or anything that's posted about them. Sometimes we post our own videos or whatever.
Very cool.
So if you're into following kids from this area, we follow them all, even kids that just skate with us from Lloyd or
Okay,
whatever we do.
and they can get that on HHC.
Yes. And one last thing, make sure you support the track because we've been using it here in this COVID run, and that thing is amazing. God, would I have wanted that when I was younger.
Yes.
Anything field, that thing is the best ever. So
Perfect.
Make sure anything they do for the track, you support it. It's awesome.
Appreciate that, Adam.
Okay, thank you very much for
You
having
betcha.
me.
No problem. It's been fun. Thanks, folks. We'll see you next time on Parkbench Wainwright.